Friday on. Right on. All right, let's rock it out. I should be wearing shorts, but I'm not. So let's do deadlifts first. Whatever your heaviest weights are that you have, grab them. Grab them. Deadlifts even for, even if you're not particularly experienced with weight training, can be done fairly heavy. I see guys do absolutely insane amounts. I don't think that's wise, but let's get into the deadlifts right now. Deadlifts are awesome. And I just want to mention a couple of things about why deadlifts are awesome, as well as other compound exercises and what compound exercises are. Compound exercises recruit the most possible muscle that it can, so that way you are training not only the primary muscle group, the things that are obvious, but you are also training ancillary muscle groups. You're recruiting muscle groups that are required for stabilization and for the return motion. So that's why compound exercises are great. Examples of great compound exercises are things like deadlifts, squats, pull-ups, push-ups. Those are dips. Those are really the biggest movers. But something to keep in mind also is you are also engaging in compound exercise when you are doing weight training and you are standing up. When you're lying down or sitting down, you start to really isolate your muscles more, and you wind up recruiting many fewer muscles that are involved for things like stabilization. And one little note is, for instance, if you're running, if you want to go for a run, and one of my favorite tracks in the world is down in Overpeck Park. It's a wonderfully long figure eight, but I would never run actually on the asphalt. Run on the outer edge in the grass. It's much more difficult when you first start, but there are two great reasons to run on grass or sand rather than asphalt. One is impact. When you run on asphalt, you are pounding on your body. You're pounding on your spine. You're pounding on your joints. And that will give you a much shorter career as a runner. The other is the fact that when you run on grass, the thing that makes it hard is that you are squishing down in, and you are forced to pick up your foot. And you are getting a lot more benefit because the terrain is completely uneven. And what that does is that forces your body to constantly adjust for that inconsistency in terrain. So your body is working on not just the leg muscles, but it's going to constantly work on smaller muscle groups that help to stabilize everything inside of your hips, your ankles, your knees, your obliques, shoulders, everything, because your body, it's an extremely smart thing, will make all of these really fine adjustments that you never would otherwise, and you would lose track of. All right, enough jibber jabber. Let's get into deadlifts. Deadlifts. We will be doing 30-second rests. And I was just checking the time. So grab your weights, whatever you have. The heaviest ones is the best. And when we do the deadlifts, let me show you so that without weights, so in case you're unfamiliar, we can with dumbbell deadlifts, we can hold them hammer style, keeping your feet about hip width apart. And then when we go down, your back needs to be in a fully neutral position. So, stay looking forward and watch my butt. I stick my butt out and then I bring my butt back. That's where this is really happening, is getting the hips back and pushing the hips forward. And that will be even more pronounced when we do the next variation of deadlifts, which will be stiff-legged deadlifts. All right, let's get ready. Here we go. Feet about hip width apart, a little wider, and let's go. Two more. Let's put them down. And you know what? I thought of something while I was doing those. We will throw a shrug in at the top of the motion. So after we come up with your dumbbells there, then just go shrug. Might as well get the traps working a little bit more. Nothing wrong with that. About 10 seconds more for a rest. Let's get ready. Grab your weights. Be careful when you pick them up. Hips, feet about hip width. And here we go. Concentrate on your back. Make sure you maintain a neutral position in your back. Good. Oh, I forgot the shrug. Let's go up and then shrug. Down and then shrug. Good. Shrug. 7, 8. 4 more. 9. 10. 2 more. 1. 2. Good. Now put them down. 30-second rest. So yeah, we're doing a squat, and then at the top, shrug. Really good stuff. When we're able to go back to the gym, in about 3 years, then definitely bring the deadlifts with you. They are super powerful, and you can work with a much heavier weight. Let's go third set, deadlifts with the shrug. Okay. Here we go. And shrug. 1. Shrug. 3. 4. 8 more. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Good. Put them down. Good. That was 3 sets. 30-second rest. Now we're going to do stiff-legged deadlifts. Very similar to what we just did, except we are not squatting at all. When we do the stiff-legged deadlifts, our legs are straight and our hips go back. So I push my hips back. I'm really pushing them back, and then I bring them forward. Hips back and then forward. Hips back, weights will be down, neutral back, and bring them forward. This really works your glutes and your hamstrings. That is important. You have a lot of muscle in your butt and the back of your legs. Why do we want to train our muscle? Why do we do weightlifting? Here's a really good fundamental reason. Because it helps with your circulation. It takes strain off of your heart. Your heart is there, constantly working. But when we have strong muscles, when we're exercising our muscles, when we're flexing our muscles and engaging in those exercises, what that does is that helps to push blood through your body. It's helping your heart. It's actually helping. And then also what we do when we train, we open up our veins and our arteries, right? I happen to be a pretty vascular kind of guy. But what that does is that it literally helps your blood flow more easily. And that is what you want to do. It's just simple. It makes your heart's job easier. You get a few more beats out of it before it's lights out, right? Here we go. All right. Grab your weights, then push your hips back, neutral position, hips forward. 1. Bring those hips back. 2. You should feel a nice stretch down the back of your legs. 3. Push the hips back. 4. 5. And you are using your hips to push forward. Push the hips forward. That's what's making you stand, not lifting at your lower back. The fact that your upper body comes back up is simply a mechanical issue, so to speak. It's because your hips are returning to the correct position. It's not because I'm lifting with my lower back, and it's not because you are lifting. It's because you're pushing your hips forward, and your upper body just has to go somewhere. Good. 2 more. 1, 2. Good. Let's put them down. Take a quick rest. If you want one diet recommendation, and when I say diet, I don't use it in the way that our culture uses it. We think of diets like a temporary thing. Like, oh, I'll do this diet. And then when I'm done with this diet, I'll go back to doing what I did before. That's like, I'm going to quit smoking. And then after I quit smoking, I'm going to start smoking again. It's idiotic, right? So using the word diet in its true sense, as in what we are eating, our diet. If you want to make one dietary change, drop bread. Stop eating bread, period. No more bread in your life. Here we go. Second set. Second set. Push your hips back, which will bring you down and up. 1, 2, and not whole grain bread. That's not an acceptable substitute. It's better than white flour, but it's still just not good. 4, 5, 6. You're like, well, I like sandwiches. Well, so what? I used to like smoking cigarettes. 7, 8. People are all filled with this, but I like to do this thing. Again, so what? So you like to do it. Who cares? Good. 2 more. Good. 30-second rest. I like to be alive. I like to feel good. I like to be functional. You know, I'm 48 years old and I feel really good. I feel healthy because I am healthy. And it's because I take care of myself. And the fact of the matter is, I made a lot of significant changes to my lifestyle, some things that felt like sacrifices, but there is nothing in your life that doesn't require sacrifice. Some of the things that we sacrifice happen outside of our awareness until they come screaming into our awareness, specifically health issues. We continue to fill our body with garbage. And, you know, we're like, oh, I just can't sacrifice having ice cream every day after dinner, or I just can't sacrifice, having orange juice in the morning, which is nothing but a glass of sugar. And then all of a sudden, you know, you wake up and you have type 2 diabetes or metabolic syndrome or heart problems, or you're having neurodegenerative diseases. And it's like, I didn't realize I was sacrificing my actual health at that time, or I knew it, but I didn't know it, because we have this tendency to only know things that are in our actual experience. And it's just like the frog being boiled. When you continue to fill your body with garbage and poison, you are the frog being boiled. You just don't know it. That's the story. Here we go. Final set. You didn't think I would talk so much today, but I feel pretty passionately about this stuff. Here we go. Hips back and up. And I'll tell you why. Because exercise, weightlifting is, it's super important. But the stuff that you put into your mouth is, I would say, it's the most important of all of your decisions. Every time you eat something, you are making a serious decision. And, you know, you and I, everybody are constantly bombarded. And this is a fact. We're constantly bombarded with the idea of convenience for eating, as if convenience should be a major consideration for what we eat. And yes, I get it. We are constantly fighting the clock, right? We're in this high intensity culture, constantly pounding away at us, telling us that we're supposed to get all of this nonsense done. And last one, good. But so what happened? And then we look at our food and we're like, we got to eat it fast. We have to make something fast. It has to be prepared fast. Or grab a bag of stuff out of the cupboard and eat it. Wrong. And another reason, what happens also, let me tell you from my experience, and I'm going to get more in depth into this at another time. I'm sorry to throw it into the weight training today, but it's just on my mind. When you start really eating healthy food, really healthy, and I'm not talking about like a plate full of vegetables. I'm talking much more about like a ribeye. Just a ribeye, maybe with like a little broccoli on the side. But, you know, that ribeye is going to provide you with so much more nutrition than vegetables and rice. We are being told that some of the healthiest stuff for us in the world is bad for us, but it's just not. What is bad is the unending amount of carbohydrates and sugar vegetables that cause inflammation. These things are really bad for you. And now, and we're just constantly being fed lies that red meat is terrible for you. It's not. It's one of the best things in the world for you. Here we go. Let's do some glamour muscles, right? Arms. Grab your heavier weights if you want. Let's do some curls. We'll start in hammer position and then twist it in just like that. All right? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Put them down. 30-second rest. That being said, if you must eat bread, do not eat it like a sandwich is a terrible idea. And I'll tell you, and one of the reasons is because what happens when you eat a hamburger, for instance, if you just ate the hamburger, you would be fine. But when you throw it between two pieces of bread, which is, and it's actually more than two pieces of bread because those buns are thick, what happens is there's an interaction between that huge amount of sugar, which is what the bread is. Make no mistake, bread is sugar. It's cake. Just because it's not sweet and it doesn't have frosting on it doesn't mean that it's not cake. It is cake. Just because you're eating cake and meat, when you eat cake and meat or bun and meat, that works together, and that is what makes you fat. It's not the meat inside. It is the bun, and then even worse, it has a synergistic effect between the bun and the hamburger and the fat. So then what happens is, we'll do another set and I'll explain what happens with regard to insulin and energy. Here we go. 1, 2, but I like hamburgers with bun. 3, but I like it. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2 more, 11, 12. Put them down. What happens is your body sees the big sugar that you've dumped into it, the bread, and it immediately you have a huge insulin spike. And then what happens is it takes that sugar and it starts using it for kind of energy. The way that it synthesizes it for energy is definitely an uneven and inefficient way of providing your body with energy. But then what happens is it takes the fat from the hamburger, and that's when it will start to actually store it. And it's going to store because it has this relationship to the way your insulin all works together. And that's how you wind up getting fat. If you were eating hamburgers and you just ate the hamburger no bun, you're fine. You're fine. Here we go. One more set of tries of biceps rather. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. One more.
12. Let's put them down. 30 seconds rest, and then we'll do a let's do a medial deltoid exercise. I don't feel like doing push-ups today. I don't feel like it, so let's not do them. You know what? That's a terrible excuse. Let's do push-ups. Let's do push-ups. You can't talk about compound exercises and then not do them. So let's just do them. All right. If you don't have perfect push-up handles, which most people don't, but you should, they're cheap. Then grab your dumbbells, and you can do your push-ups on your dumbbells. The reason we do them on the dumbbells is because you're able to get deeper into your pecs, aka your chest. All right, let's do it. Yeah, we gotta do push-ups. Just not feeling it today, but here we go. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2 more. 1, 2. Good. 30-second rest. Yeah, drop bread. Drop bread in all of its variations. Bagels, holy moly, bagels are so bad for you. Waffles, pancakes, muffins, cake. Just get rid of it. I get it. I like it too. Of course, it's delicious. But it's literally killing you, little by little. Here we go. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Good. 30-second rest. But I like it. Yeah. But I like it. Anytime you find yourself, you catch yourself saying how you don't want to change something because you like it, just make a mental note of it for now. Even if you're like, oh, I'm going to keep eating bread, blah, blah, blah. Just keep in mind, but I like it that's like what little kids say. We'll talk about the American idea of moderation as well after this set. Okay, here we go. Final set of push-ups. Let's bang it out. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. That was awesome. You guys did great. Moderation. Moderation is much less than what Americans think it is. Moderation is, not a few times per week. It's maybe one time per month or even only a few times per year. Just about anything can be done in moderation, but moderation is not like, okay, I'll have ice cream every 2 days. It's more like I'll have ice cream once every few weeks. And that doesn't mean that you're going to have a Snickers bar for between then and then. Anyway, My point is moderation is really much, 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 much less than we frame it in our culture. It's much less. Anyway, I hope you had a great workout, and I hope some of what I said is helpful. I don't mean to lecture, but it's the amount of illness that's going on right now is sort of bringing these things to mind, because we have chronic illness that we are constantly dealing with, but nobody's taking care of themselves. Don't be one of those people. All right. Have a great afternoon. Thanks.